When Shedeur Sanders got drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round, the story was supposed to be simple. Quiet rookie year. Learn the system. Sit on the bench behind a veteran. Maybe get a few snaps in a preseason game, toss a couple of completions and fade into the background like most mid-round quarterbacks do. That was the script. The league had it printed, laminated, and ready for distribution. Instead,
if you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
This man just detonated the entire playbook. Shedeur didn't just flip the NFL on its head. He flipped the entire sports business universe upside down, shook it, and casually walked away while the coins spilled everywhere. And no one saw it coming. Not like this. Let's set the scene. It's the tail end of preseason. Most fans are half paying attention. Analysts are still obsessing over first-rounders, and Cleveland is doing what Cleveland does, trying to manage expectations. Shedeur walks onto the field with barely any buzz, throws 14 completions, 138 yards, and 2 touchdowns like it's a casual scrimmage, and the world loses its mind. But here's the twist. It wasn't just the touchdowns. It wasn't just the accuracy. It wasn't even the cool-headed poise under pressure. It was the jerseys. $250 million worth. That's not a typo. $250 million in jersey sales. For a rookie. Before the regular season even began. You could almost hear every NFL marketing executive gasp in unison. That one stat, one freakish, absurd number, was the opening crack in the wall. Because while everyone was focused on whether Shedeur could perform on the field, Nike had already bet the house that he'd change the game off it. And spoiler alert, they were right. Here's the real kicker. Shedeur Sanders is making more money from his jersey sales alone than from his entire 4-year rookie contract. His merch sales outpaced his actual NFL salary in less time than it takes to binge a season of quarterback on Netflix. And it's not just a fluke. This is the result of something called the Prime Equity Clause. Oh yeah, we're in uncharted territory now. See, unlike most rookies who sign endorsement deals and call it a day, Shedeur came into the league with a business model. Not a brand, a model. Thanks to some very strategic parenting, hi Dion, and even savvier negotiating, Shedeur secured a clause in his contract that gives him a percentage of all revenue tied to his name, image, and likeness. Let's break that down. Every jersey, every sponsorship, every YouTube clip, every limited edition Nike drop with his face on it, he gets a cut. Not a flat rate. A percentage. That means he's not just getting paid as an athlete, he's getting paid like a partner. It's athlete entrepreneurship on steroids. Nike? They saw this coming from miles away. Before Shedeur even declared for the draft, Nike had already started weaving him into their long-term brand tapestry. We're talking exclusive apparel lines, custom sneakers, teaser campaigns, and social media takeovers. They didn't sign him like an athlete, they cast him like a Marvel character. And clearly the fans bought the fantasy. In fact, Nike is now reportedly preparing a record-shattering endorsement extension for Shedeur, one that would make him the highest-paid rookie endorser in sports history. Not just the NFL, sports. Period. That sound you hear is every other brand executive frantically rewriting their rookie playbooks. But here's where things start getting complicated. Because anytime someone disrupts the system, you can bet there's going to be backlash. And right now, the critics are lining up like it's open mic night. Some are whispering that Shedeur's success is all hype. Others are muttering about his focus, his attitude, his off-field behavior, anything they can grab onto to pull him back down to earth. It's the oldest trick in the book. Build them up, tear them down. Suddenly, media outlets are scrutinizing his every move. Why did he say that on Instagram? Who's he dating? Is he too flashy? Too confident? You'd think we were dissecting a political scandal instead of a 22-year-old with a rocket arm and a shoe deal. And let's not ignore the racial undertones simmering beneath it all. The same swagger that gets praised in others is somehow arrogance here. The same business acumen that would make headlines if it came from a white quarterback is being framed as distracting. It's a tired narrative, but it still hits hard, and Shedeur's media team is already playing defense. But here's what they don't get. This isn't just a story about a talented rookie. This is a story about an entire industry being dragged into a new era. And Shedeur? He's not asking for permission. He's flipping the lights on. Because what happens when athletes stop being just players and start being partners? What happens when rookies can walk into the league with brand equity, fan bases, and corporate leverage before they've even taken a regular season snap? What happens is exactly this. chaos, money, jealousy, innovation, and the complete rewiring of an old system. And yes, the Browns' locker room is reportedly not thrilled about it. Whispers of favoritism, resentment, and competition are already leaking. One source even described it as, like watching a sneaker commercial walk into the huddle. Yikes. It's not easy being the center of a cultural phenomenon when your job is to pass a football. Shedeur is navigating brand shoots in the morning, team meetings at noon, and critique from retired players on ESPN by dinner time. The man can't sneeze without it trending on X. Injuries? They're already a concern. Critics are waiting like vultures, ready to pounce the second he limps or fumbles. Because in their eyes, the bigger the brand, the harder the fall. And let's be real, if he doesn't win games, all the merch and marketing in the world won't save him. This is the NFL where the scoreboard is king. So yeah, the pressure isn't just high, it's stratospheric. But you know what? That's what makes this story so wild. Because win or lose, Shedeur Sanders has already done something almost no rookie has ever done. He's shifted the power. He's proven that you don't have to be a top draft pick or a Super Bowl MVP to own your narrative, build your empire, and turn a sport into a platform. He's part of a new generation of athletes who are no longer content being part of the machine. They want to own the machine. And brands like Nike? They're listening. Because this isn't just about sports anymore. It's about fashion, music, tech, influence. It's about creating cultural icons, not just champions. Shedeur isn't just playing football. He's building a brand, a legacy, a blueprint. And whether it crashes and burns spectacularly, or becomes the template for every athlete moving forward, we're all watching. So let's give out a quick honorary trophy while we're here, most likely to ruin salary cap math for GMs everywhere. Congrats, Shedeur. You earned it. And now, dear viewer, the floor is yours. Is this the future of the NFL? Are we witnessing the birth of a new model, or just a perfectly marketed moment in time? Drop your take in the comments. Is Shedeur the prototype or just a pop-up phenomenon? And while you're here, hit that subscribe button. Because if this is how the season starts, just imagine what's coming next. This isn't just football anymore. This is business, culture, chaos, and Shedeur Sanders is playing quarterback for all of it. And the irony? It's not even week 1 yet. You've got ESPN still previewing other rookies like it's 2012. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders is already pulling in more cash than most Pro Bowlers and selling out limited edition Nike drops before they hit the shelves. The man's name is becoming a verb. He's not just in the league, he's remapping how the league even functions. Let's talk about that prime equity clause again, because this isn't just some cute marketing gimmick. This is lawyered up leverage. It's the kind of clause you don't get unless someone in your camp is playing chess while the rest of the industry is still trying to figure out checkers. And in this case, that someone is Deion Sanders. Coach Prime. Father Prime. Walking TED Talk in sunglasses. Whatever you call him, Deion laid the groundwork years ago. From Shedeur's high school media training to his college nil deals, the entire Sanders operation has been engineered for this moment. And now that the moment's here? Oh, it's moving at warp speed. Because when you walk into the NFL as both a quarterback and a corporate stakeholder in your own name, you're not just trying to win games. You're redefining the scoreboard. Nike knows this. They're not just slapping a swoosh on his chest. They're integrating him into the ecosystem. Think Jordan. Think LeBron. Think Serena. These are athletes who transcend their sport. That's the play Nike's making, and they're willing to bet millions that Shedeur can hold that kind of weight. But here's the question that no one wants to say out loud. What if he can't? What if the pressure gets too heavy? What if the locker room resentment grows louder than the crowd? What if the off-field empire distracts from the on-field grind? Because let's be honest, NFL locker rooms aren't built for this level of spectacle. Veterans don't exactly love it when a rookie strolls in with a luxury watch collab and a film crew. And it doesn't help that Shedeur's Instagram game is stronger than most teams' actual media departments. There's a fine line between star and target, and Shedeur is walking it in cleats made of gold. Oh, and let's not forget the NFL's favorite pastime, waiting for the other shoe to drop. One bad game, one controversial comment, one sideline argument caught on camera, and boom, the media cycle flips. Suddenly it's all, is Shedeur too Hollywood for football? Or, is the fame getting in the way? You know it's coming. The takes are already pre-written. And the thing is, he knows it too. You can see it in how he talks to the media. Cool, measured, always aware of the narrative. It's like he's running a post-game interview and a brand strategy meeting at the same time. That's not normal rookie behavior. That's CEO energy. It's fascinating, and it's a little terrifying. Because this isn't just a football story anymore. It's a culture war disguised as a quarterback competition. Old school football guys? They hate this. To them, the game should come first. You grind in silence, earn your stripes, and maybe, you get a commercial after your second contract. But Shedeur skipped the whole first act. He walked onto the stage already holding the mic, already talking equity, already plotting the docuseries. And whether you love that or hate it, you can't deny, it's working. The kids are buying his jerseys. The social media numbers are off the charts. And Nike? They're sitting back watching the money printer go BR. But there's still one thing money can't buy: respect in the NFL. Not the corporate kind. Not the fan kind. The grimy, locker room, fourth quarter, trust you with the game on the line kind. And that's the mountain Shedeur still has to climb. Because if he throws one too many picks, if he gets sacked too many times and starts wincing on the sideline, if the Browns lose games and he's still posting sneaker drops, the honeymoon is over. The same media that's breathlessly reporting on his record-breaking rise will pivot so fast it'll give you whiplash. Let's not act like we haven't seen this before. Hype is fragile. It glows until it implodes. And Shedeur's hype? It's nuclear grade. That's a lot of heat for a rookie arm. But here's the crazy part: he might actually pull it off. Because this isn't just a kid with a famous dad. This is a quarterback with command. Watch him play. It's not just about stats. It's the poise, the reads, the clutch throws when the pocket collapses. The fact that he doesn't panic. Add that to the fact that he understands media optics like a social media director with a PhD in virality. That's a dangerous combo. That's the kind of combo that scares other quarterbacks. And it should. Because for the first time, you're looking at a player who can literally out-earn his coach, shape his own narrative, and go viral for something as mundane as walking into practice with a new pair of Nike prototypes. This isn't normal. This is next-generation stardom. And now everyone's scrambling to catch up. Agents are already trying to negotiate similar equity clauses for their clients. Brands are rethinking how they scout athletes, because clearly talent is only half the formula now. Marketability? It's everything. And if you're not a media-savvy, highlight reel-generating, merchandise-moving phenom by the time you're 22, good luck getting that mega deal. Shedeur isn't just a prototype. He's the beta test for the next era of sports business. And whether the experiment succeeds or explodes, the ripple effect is already here. GMs are whispering. Brand managers are lurking. College athletes are taking notes. And somewhere, a high school QB with 400 TikTok followers is writing prime equity clause on his vision board. So where does it all go from here? Best case scenario: Shedeur balls out, stays healthy, earns the respect of his team, and Nike builds a billion-dollar brand around him. He becomes the face of the new athlete economy, a generational quarterback who also happens to be a business mogul. Worst case: the hype burns too hot, too fast. He struggles on the field, the critics swarm, the locker room fractures, and the brand starts to outpace the player. Nike pivots. The story sours. But even in the worst-case scenario, the model still exists. The blueprint is out there now. The toothpaste doesn't go back in the tube. And that's the real story here. Because Shedeur Sanders might succeed. He might flame out. But either way, he's already broken the mold. The NFL can't pretend this didn't happen. Teams can't ignore the fact that branding, equity, and cultural influence are now part of the scouting report. And rookies? They're watching. Closely. So yeah, the stakes are insane. But isn't that kind of the point? This isn't just football anymore. It's empire building in cleats. It's reality TV, venture capital, and the 2-minute drill all rolled into one. It's Shedeur Sanders walking into the league not just to play, but to own something. To change something. To plant a flag where no rookie has planted it before. And whether you think it's genius or madness, you're watching. We all are. And now we're here, standing on the edge of something we've never seen before in pro football. 1 foot in the locker room, 1 foot in a luxury suite in Beaverton, Oregon. A rookie quarterback who walks into the league with a contract that feels more like a tech startup's IPO than a rookie deal. And here's the wildest part: he might actually be worth it. Because let's not forget, $250 million in jersey sales doesn't happen by accident. That's not just hype. That's not just people riding the primetime nostalgia train. That's demand. That's cultural pull. That's teenagers, college kids, and grown adults fighting over a piece of fabric with Shedeur's name on it. That's a fan base forming around a rookie in Cleveland before he's even been named the starter. This is not just a player. This is a movement. And whether you're cheering for him or praying for his downfall, one thing's for sure: you're paying attention. And that, right there, is his superpower. Because even if you hate the gold chains, the nil flexing, the influencer energy, the curated Instagram posts, the fact that he already has multiple stylists, he owns the conversation. Every sports show, every morning show, every podcast trying to sound cool and current. They're all talking about Shedeur. That's power. And it's also pressure, immense pressure. Think about it. Every throw, every press conference, every locker room whisper is now part of a billion-dollar narrative. The Nike marketing team isn't just watching, they're invested. There's an entire wing of corporate America quietly betting that this kid becomes the face of Gen Z sports culture. So yeah, when he throws a pick in the second quarter of week 1, it's not just a mistake, it's a headline. When he doesn't celebrate a touchdown the right way, it's a discourse. When he fumbles during a bad weather game in Pittsburgh, it's suddenly, can Shedeur handle real football? It's exhausting. But it's also exactly what they signed up for. Because you don't build a brand like this without accepting the spotlight that comes with it. You don't make yourself the center of the cultural conversation and then ask to be left alone to develop quietly. That ship sailed the moment those prime equity documents were notarized. And honestly, he seems ready for it. Ready in a way that's almost unsettling. Like this dude grew up in a media storm. His life was a highlight reel before he could drive. He's been filming content for a family empire since puberty. By the time he got to college, he wasn't just playing ball, he was running a media machine. That's not normal. That's not even generational talent. That's generational calculation. And now the NFL is dealing with the result. A rookie who acts like a seasoned vet, negotiates like an exec, and already has more brand leverage than half the league's pro bowlers. So you tell me, how do you coach that? How do you lead that? How do you contain that? That's the real tension bubbling under the surface. Because behind all the glitz, behind the private jets and sold-out jerseys and he's him tweets, there's still a football team trying to win games. There are veterans trying to get paid. There are coordinators trying to keep their jobs. And now here comes Shedeur, with a camera crew, a marketing plan, and a custom pair of cleats designed for a player who might not even start yet. It's thrilling. It's disruptive. It's chaos. And the Browns? They're caught right in the middle of it. Because this was never their plan. Cleveland drafted Shedeur in the 5th round thinking maybe they could develop him into a backup. Low risk, decent reward. Give it a couple years. Instead, they accidentally stepped on a gold mine and triggered a media frenzy. Now, every decision they make, from who gets first-team reps to who's calling the plays, is under a magnifying glass. Not a football magnifying glass, a corporate one. Every game is a brand asset. Every interview is a campaign. And the fans? Oh, they're divided. Some love it. They're calling him the savior, the future, the QB Cleveland has been praying for since before smartphones. Others think it's a distraction. A circus. Too much flash, not enough grind. But even the haters can't look away. Because the story's too good. Too weird. Too 2025. A rookie QB out of Jackson State, a historically black college, outshining first-rounders in every off-field metric. A 5th-round pick commanding first-round attention. A kid raised in the spotlight, now bending it to his will like some kind of football influencer Thanos. He's not supposed to be here. Not in this way. Not this fast. But here he is. And now we all get to watch what happens next. Will Shedeur win the starting job? Can he lead a franchise that's historically allergic to quarterback success? Will he silence the critics by delivering real, gritty, third-down conversions in freezing Midwest games? Or will the hype outpace the development? Will the prime brand cannibalize the player? Will the Instagram wins stop translating into actual wins? These are the stakes. And the league is watching, popcorn in hand. But let's zoom out for a second. Because even if Shedeur flames out, which to be clear there's no indication he will, the door he's kicked open? It stays open. He's already proved that rookie athletes can be more than pawns in the NFL's system. He's shown that personal branding, when done strategically, can be just as powerful as a draft position. He's exposed how outdated the league's endorsement model is. And he's reminded every sports exec that you don't own an athlete's brand, you partner with it. That's the paradigm shift. Shedeur didn't come into the league asking for a seat at the table. He brought his own table. With a ring light, a vision board, and a sneaker collab. So whether he wins a Super Bowl or fizzles out like a YouTube trend, the NFL will never be the same. The endorsement landscape will never be the same. The way rookies view their contracts, their marketability, their worth, that changes now. And that's why this moment feels bigger than just sports. It's about ownership. It's about leverage. It's about the power to define yourself before the system does it for you. Because for too long, Athletes were told to shut up, play ball, and be grateful. Shedeur Sanders said, "No thanks, I've got equity now." And no matter what happens on the field this season, that sentence alone just altered the power dynamics of professional sports forever. So here's your final thought as we wrap this saga. For now, whether you're rooting for him, doubting him, or just here for the spectacle, you're witnessing history. This isn't just a rookie season. It's a revolution. And Shedeur Sanders? He's already got the merch for it. Because let's be honest, when was the last time a fifth-round quarterback became the cultural center of the NFL before even taking a regular season snap? We've seen number one picks flop. We've seen undrafted legends rise from the ashes. But Shedeur? He's not playing either of those roles. He didn't come in as a long-shot underdog. He didn't come in as the golden child of the draft. He came in as a brand, pre-packaged, pre-monetized, and fully weaponized for the 21st century sports machine. And that's what makes this so wildly entertaining. Because right now, Shedeur Sanders is sitting at the intersection of performance and perception. One side is football, gritty, brutal, cold-weather football. The other is culture, algorithms, endorsements, and the kind of social clout that makes brands foam at the mouth. And every day he steps on the field, he's trying to balance both like he's walking a tightrope in cleats. What makes this even more fascinating is how much is riding on it. For Shedeur? Sure, legacy, money, pressure. But zoom out. This is bigger than one rookie. This is about every kid coming up behind him who watched the old model and said, "Nope, I want more. More ownership. More control. More say in how their name gets used and who profits off it." If Shedeur succeeds, the floodgates open. The next wave of rookies is going to come in with marketing decks and revenue-sharing demands. The NFL will have no choice but to evolve, or risk getting outplayed in its own arena. The power shift won't be subtle. It'll be seismic. But if he fails? If the brand outshines the ball? If the pressure caves him in? If the whole thing crashes into a cautionary tale? The old guard will pounce. They'll point and say, "See? This is what happens when players care more about cameras than playbooks." Back to business as usual. So yeah, the stakes aren't just high. They're historical. But watching Shedeur, you get the sense that he knows all of this. He knows he's a symbol now, whether he asked for it or not. And somehow he's still calm. Still smiling. Still slinging lasers in practice and filming content between reps. That kind of composure? That's not just coached. That's carved into your DNA when you've been raised under stadium lights your whole life. The NFL doesn't know what to do with him yet. But they will. Because whether he becomes the next face of football, or the league's most fascinating what if, Shedeur Sanders has already changed the game. Now he just has to win it. So grab your popcorn. Tune in. And remember, you're not just watching a rookie. You're watching the sport of football wrestle with its own future. And so far, the rookie's winning.